Hello, I'm Mike, with this week's new and trending AI tools you cannot afford to miss. This week we look at the latest advancements in AI coding, we use some vibe coding and a Blender MCP to create a 3D space game, and we take a look at the insane updates to Google Gemini. First, we'll start with Cursor, the AI coding tool that we can use to build things with natural language. Version 0.47 has been rolling out, and it's got some really tasty features, but I don't think the header, reliability, keyboard shortcuts, and early access opt-in really does it justice. Here we are inside Cursor. The first thing that caught my eye is early access, so I've clicked the settings cog in the top right, and then I want to go to beta or beta, whatever you prefer. Let's click that, and you'll see here there are beta features, update frequency, and I've got it set to standard, but of course, being me, bleeding edge, early access is what I want. So I've selected early access. I also suggest if you want to try the latest features from Cursor, you hit that early access too. Another little quality of life thing under General and then hitting Open Editor Settings and searching up here for Theme will bring up the ability to change your Cursor theme. Now, I've been on Dark Modern for a while, but they introduced Cursor Dark High Contrast, and Cursor Dark Midnight. Other quality of life updates include actually the default model is auto select, meaning Cursor decides which of these beautiful models to use, and you can also enable thinking that consumes 2 credits instead of 1. You'll also notice there's this Claude 3.7 Sonnet Max that actually charges you per use, and that's for deep, hard, intelligent thinking inside Cursor. Oh, and if you didn't know this, now as of 0.47, you can actually upload multiple images. So I've selected 1 and I can select 2. Now I've got 2 there and I'm like, build me a site like this with front page showing an animated terminal. Now, while that's working away and coding for me in the background, you'll see the images I uploaded, actually a screenshot of the Cursor editor and the Cursor changelog. Oh man, that's cool. Now, it's seen the project is called Space Vibe Game, so it's actually cloned the look of the Cursor website and made this awesome terminal ready to launch, which actually brings me neatly on to designing my space game using a Blender MCP and also showing you how MCPs now work inside Cursor, because that's another reason I use Cursor. They're constantly changing things, much to the detriment of me creating videos, because I get a ton of comments like, Command-Shift-I doesn't work to open Cursor Composer, or MCPs don't work the way you explained them a week ago. Yes, you'll see over here on my channel I released just under 2 weeks ago a video that's now amassed 100,000 views on MCP. It's already out of date. So now we can focus on setting up MCP servers. You'll need the settings cog again, and you'll need to go to MCP in Cursor settings. Now, they've changed it. This is crazy. Add new global MCP server. What does that mean? I just got used to adding them inside Cursor, and now it's just telling me to add a global one? No worries. All you do is click this button, and if you haven't set up an MCP server yet for your Cursor instance, it'll ask you to create a file. Now, note, anything you put in that file is global to Cursor, no matter what project you're working on. In a moment, I'll show you how to set up MCP servers specific to a project you're working on. So as you'll see here, for me, on my Mac, it's stored in users, Mike.cursor, which is a hidden directory, mcp.json. Well, I've been scouring the internet for really awesome MCP servers, found this sequential thinking MCP server, and we scroll down, here is the mpx install instructions. So we just copy all of this code here, and much like I demonstrated to you in that video from a couple of weeks ago in Claude Code, we just paste it into that JSON file inside Cursor. Cross out of mcp.json, and look, sequential thinking is currently closed. So we'll just try refreshing, and oh yes, sometimes all it needs is a refresh. Sequential thinking is now working. Now this is a global MCP server, as is stated by this button up here, and you can always add another server by clicking it. It'll take you straight to the file, and you can add in another MCP server just underneath the sequential thinking server. If you get stuck, just ask your favorite AI to write an mcp.json for Cursor. Simple as that. Okay, now we're going to try and set up an MCP server just for this Space Vibe game, because I don't want to use it on everything, but I do want to use it for this. So I'm closing everything down, and here in my project, I'm going to create a new folder up here, and the name I will give it is .cursor. Now, the cool thing about the .cursor directory in a project directory is you can give specific cursor rules. We've covered that in previous videos, and now specific MCP servers. So inside this hidden directory, I then go ahead and create a file, and I call that mcp.json. Now I'm going to add another cool MCP server. This is for Blender, and it's been trending over the last week or so. People have been using AI to prompt Blender to make amazing assets for 3D games. First of all, we'll go to this Blender MCP and we'll scroll down until we find some installation instructions. Now, if you're on a Mac, you need to run this command from your terminal. If you're on Windows, run this command here and then do that. So these are the install instructions for your operating system. I already did that, so all I need to do is copy this code, like we did with the sequential thinking, go to this MCP JSON file that is local to my Space Vibe game, paste that in, save it, and now we'll go back to Settings, MCP, and whoa, we've got another one, but of course it's disabled at the moment. Obviously, I don't want to enable it yet because I didn't install Blender yet. Okay, I'm a little bit scared by this because I've never used this software before, but it's easy to download for your operating system. Okay, Blender was quick and easy to install, but oh my goodness. New file? Does it look complex? A box? How do I get rid of the box? Ah, yes, delete. Okay, now I've got a blank canvas. I've no idea what this shape is over here. But anyway, I'm not going to be using Blender. I'm going to get AI to use it for me. And there is another step that I need to follow just to get this working on Blender so that basically Cursor can connect to Blender via MCP. And I need to follow this, download addon.py. There it is. Click the download button. Okay, with that downloaded, I go to Edit, Preferences, and then look for add-ons. Oh, I'm already there. That's good. And then I need to install. Okay, let's open this. Install from disk. Downloads. Oh yes, addon.py. Install from disk. Oh, that was easy. There it is. All right, how do I start the connection? Okay, in Blender, go to the 3D view sidebar, press N. Let's try N. Oh yes, Blender MCP. There it is. I'll click that. Ah, okay, it's got everything here. I can use assets and Hyper 3D stuff. Let's ignore that for now because I don't know what it means. Start MCP server. Running on port 9876. This is cool. Now I've hopped over to my Cursor instance and I'm hoping I just click enable and orange. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Orange. Maybe I need to click refresh. Let's try refresh. Oh, wow. That's amazing. These MCPs are really so incredibly easy to set up once you know what you're doing. And if you need some help, it's a good time to join my community using the link down below. Okay, so remember we've got the global sequential thinking MCP server, and this Blender MCP is only installed for my Space Vibe coding project. Oh yeah, and quickly to show you the difference between global and project-based MCP, if I go to MCP in a new project, you'll see only sequential thinking is there in this new project. So that's global, but over here, I've made this .cursor directory with a local mcp.json, and I now get the global MCP server and the Blender server. All right, I cannot wait to try this out. Let's do it. One other thing I'm going to enable in Cursor settings under features is the ability to enable auto run mode. It's here. Now, this used to be known as YOLO mode, and essentially it means I don't have to confirm every single MCP call, and the AI will just keep working away till it's completed. Now, I'm imagining working with Blender, the AI is going to need to make tens, maybe even 100 calls, and I don't want to be clicking yes, yes, yes to all of those. So I'll just confirm that I understand and accept the risks, and now Cursor is going to run on automation. Use Blender to design a sleek spacecraft with glowing engine trails and weapon mounting points. Okay, we'll run that and see what happens. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Not too bad for a first attempt, it's still going. This is amazing. It's created some kind of spacecraft for me, and it really didn't take long to do this. Now, while it's a simplistic design, it really is a start. Now I want to start vibe coding my game, and this is the next trend, really. Vibe coding has been huge over the last few weeks. It's essentially where AI no-coders like you and me, who don't really write lines of code, speak in natural language, ideally to something that transcribes what they say, and the AI generates the code, and you don't read it, you just click accept, and then try and build a whole thing. Pretty interesting stuff, right? If you're enjoying what you see so far, do throw a like and subscribe so you can get my videos weekly. Now, another thing that's trending this week is Three.js, a powerful JavaScript library that essentially enables AI no-coders to make 3D graphics. I want my game to be a little bit 3D, and it works inside your web browser. So it simplifies making 3D style games in just a few lines of code. And I want to preface this by saying I'm going to make something really simple in this video, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to use really good fully fledged game engines to build, as Three.js is pretty simplistic. I'm looking forward to the ability to use AI to create games in Unreal Engine or Unity, and that's got to be coming soon. Use sequential thinking to think about building a 3D space shooter that allows me to fly through space past different planets, attacking enemies by shooting at them, and collecting power-ups for better shooting abilities. Make this in Three.js and adapt my present homepage to turn download for macOS and all downloads into one single Play Now button. And when that's clicked, the game starts playing inside the terminal window. Now, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is going to go to work and start building that game with the context of the homepage I already built earlier on in the video. First of all, it's calling sequential thinking. Look at this. It tells it exactly what to think, and it's looking at all the contents of my directory. It's reading the pages that already exist. This is going to be super exciting. Now, again, it's consistently using this MCP server to sequentially think, and also you'll notice it had some errors, but it's self-correcting because I'm running in automation mode, so everything is being done for me. I don't have to do anything. In fact, I might just sit back and have a cup of coffee. I think we've got there, and we've got a working Space Vibe game that I can try out, play now, and look at this. It's actually working. And wow, yes, I can shoot using spacebar, and I can actually get these like flying diamonds. And it's pretty basic at the moment, and if I crash, yes, it returns back to the start. So that's a really good start. I vibe coded something that kind of works, but I want to make it better and include my Blender asset. So let's do that. I created a rocket ship in Blender, but I've never used Blender before, so explain to me how I should save that rocket ship inside Blender, what file to save it as, and where to store it in the project so we can use that instead of the current graphic that displays the spaceship in the game. Okay, so here it's given me exact instructions on how to save this rocket ship. Final step here, just naming it rocket and exporting it to the correct directory. That's done, and now you'll see it's appeared inside here. Now, obviously, cursor can't read this file. Okay, it's got something like the space rocket, but I don't want to say what my rocket looks like. Thanks, AI. It's definitely not using the rocket.glb file. Okay, and here is our Space Vibe game. Wow, okay, I got to tell you, after vibing back and forth quite a bit, it's okay. It's definitely showing my Blender 3D render, but it's not doing it very well, and these stars are making me dizzy. Like I say, I'm just experimenting with this technology, but that is my Blender design, and I think with a bit more experience, I could probably get this integrated really well in a 3D space game and design even more stuff using the Blender MCP. This is Scratching the Surface, and I'll look forward to hearing what you're building in the discussions inside my community that's linked down below. All right, let's move on. Finally this week, Google Gemini got some amazing updates. They wrote about it in a blog post. Okay, first thing, much like Claude and ChatGPT, they now have a canvas mode. You can create documents and code. So I can do the same prompt as I did earlier for my 3D space shooter, get Gemini to work on it, it'll think about it, open up a canvas, and start immediately writing the code in front of my eyes. Now, while Gemini isn't the best coder, this is a great advancement for Gemini's 2.0 model. Okay, now it's finished. It's actually got me in space, and I'm flying through space and losing, it seems. I don't know how to shoot or what I should be shooting at. Maybe these flying red triangles and hexagons. Oh yes, that seems to be working. I'm controlling this with the mouse. It's all rather confusing, but for a one-shot prompt, it did something. Another cool feature of Gemini, I can drag and drop files like the cursor changelog, for instance. That's a PDF document there. And I get Generate Audio Overview, which is pretty cool. That's a Notebook LM style feature. Okay, this is cool. Cursor's AI revolution.
All right, so we're diving deep today into Cursor.
When you look at the sheer volume of updates, it seems like they're laser focused on building a rock-solid editor.
And one final thing, deep research from Gemini got a heck of a lot better. Not only do you get 2 times more deep research credits, but in my experience, it's just doing better deep research, maybe even better than ChatGPT's o1 Pro deep research. Search across the internet and find the very best MCP servers right now for coding in Cursor AI. Then we've got to make sure deep research is enabled, which is this check button down here, and we set Google Gemini to work. Then it comes up with a plan on exactly what it's going to do, and in my experience, not only does it sequentially think things through, like it's doing here in front of my eyes, but it also has a brilliant amount of sources it looks at: GitHub, Reddit for discussions, and even YouTube videos. So it really is deep researching the whole of the web, and as so many of those properties are Google properties, it has a real advantage at deep researching. As you can see, Google Deep Research is still going through finding the best MCP servers after researching 115 websites. It's still thinking about things. Wow, okay, this has come out with a ton of research on MCP servers. Give me everything I could want to know and more, including a nice table at the bottom telling me about Brave Search, GitHub, Slack, Discord integration, local file system, much of the stuff we've spoken about on this channel. And what's cool about Gemini is you can export it to a Google Sheet to do more with, and you can also see that it's gone through and, well, researched a whole ton of websites and Reddit threads. So there you go, some pretty cool updates this week. Cursor 0.47 updates with new ways of integrating MCP servers globally and on a project-by-project basis. The ability to connect Blender to an MCP tool and vibe code a space rocket and a space game in just a few minutes. And also the powerful stuff from Google Gemini, such as audio overviews right inside Gemini, the ability to work on a canvas with your code and execute it inside Gemini, and also deep research is even more powerful. Let me know what you're going to be doing with these tools in the comments down below, and YouTube is showing a video on your screen right now that you should watch next. Thanks.